Joining us now, Idaho Senator James Risch, ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Risch, thank you, sir, for coming on. I mean, can I just read you? This was a Fox News report today. This is from sources inside the Biden administration. They're continuing to prepare a range of severe economic measures to impose on Russia if it further attempts an invasion. They use the word further invasion. What does that mean, Senator Risch? I mean, we have a map up. I don't think you can see it, but they are everywhere. They're in Belarus. They're in, of course, eastern Ukraine, but they're in like northeastern Ukraine, mid-eastern Ukraine, and southeastern Ukraine, and right next to Crimea. I mean, they have surrounded that place, and they could invade any darn thing they want.
Yeah. Well, Larry, first of all, let me say it's good to be with you, reminiscent of when we used to do business in the Oval Office. But
yes.
As they say, that was then, and this is now.
Yes.
So, look, those were good times. Listen, this is what you're seeing here is old-fashioned type of power grab that people have labeled as imperialism, and Putin is desperate to try to put parts of the old USSR back again. He has publicly stated he doesn't recognize the Ukraine as a country. He says it's part of Russia and should be part of Russia. So that's his mindset. He's using this baloney about his security, that NATO forces, if they come into the Ukraine or we allow the Ukraine into NATO, that it would threaten his security. Well, look, he's already got 3 NATO countries, Latvia, Lithuania, on his border right now in Estonia. All 3 of those are NATO countries with some NATO presence in all 3 of them. So that's a phony reason. Look, this is not, and I hope he isn't mistaken, to think that this is 2014 when he went into the Crimea. This is a different ballgame today. The world is fired up about this. Europe is much more fired up about this than it was. Yeah, there's a handful of weak sisters there, but by and large, we do have a considerable momentum from our NATO allies, and so if he makes this mistake, it's going to be, the consequences are going to be serious. There's no question about it.
Well, Senator Risch, I just want to, on these points, first of all, I think Germany is on the wrong side because of the energy natural gas story. I mean, they rely on Russia. They rely on Russia for their energy. And by the way, a large measure of Europe relies on Russia, too. One of the German former chancellors is on the Nord Stream board. As you know this stuff cold. I'm just saying, we're a little late to this game. I mean, the administration keeps saying, in the event of a further invasion, well, gee whiz, what are they waiting for? Shouldn't we be acting preemptively rather than flat-footedly and belatedly?
Yeah, I'm an advocate for that, and we have made some attempts to do it, but haven't got the numbers. We haven't got the critical mass yet to pass that, but we're getting closer. As far as Germany is concerned, you know, that country is split. There are portions of the population that are dead set against Nord Stream 2 and very much anti-Russian, and then there's others that are on the other side of the coin. So Germany is a difficult one to deal with, and as you know, Germany is also the largest and strongest member of the European countries. So we have to deal with them, but I promise you that if he does invade, and look, it's a parlor game right now in Washington, D.C. I mean, it's like trying to guess what the Fed's going to do tomorrow. You know, you can make a list of why and a list of why not, and nobody really knows. In fact, I'm not convinced that the person who's actually going to make the call, who will pull the trigger, actually knows at this point what he's going to do. This foolish attempt he made to try to get us to make concessions, like saying the Ukraine can never be admitted to NATO. Russia can't tell us or the other 29 NATO countries who comes in and who doesn't. The Constitution of the Charter of the NATO itself says who comes in and who doesn't and who makes that choice. And it isn't Russia, particularly since NATO was put together to push back against Russia.
You know, one last thing. I'm calling me very skeptical about 8,500 American troops in the NATO coalition. I could be convinced, Senator, but I'm not convinced. But I don't know why we didn't pull the trigger on the Nord Stream sanctions and the international banking sanctions. We know how to do this. We could take them out of the, the SWIFT system, the dollar-based system, and that would really hurt. 8,500 troops aren't going to hurt. Putting tanks into Poland's not going to hurt Putin. But taking him out of the world's banking system, they have nothing anyway outside of energy. Take their gas pipeline away and take their banking away, that'd be a killer. I don't know why we didn't do it 6, 8, 10 weeks ago.
Yeah, lot to unpack there. Start with the 8,500 troops. You don't put 8,500 troops on the ground to face 110,000 Russian troops. But there is benefit in sending the 8,500 to bolster the NATO allies over there and show them that we mean business. We got their back. Look, NATO isn't going to invade into Russia. It's not going to happen. But there's a lot of those countries, the Baltic states. If it wasn't for NATO, if it wasn't for us, he'd be marching in there too. He wants to put those back together. But because we do have NATO, that stops it. The banking system sanctions, as you talk about, the SWIFT sanctions, it's dicey, it's complicated. It should be done if he does invade. There's absolutely no question there's going to be a strong move to invoke the SWIFT sanctions. Absolutely no question about it. Nord Stream 2, that's been a party line thing, which I don't understand. Everybody in Congress wanted to stop Nord Stream 2. The new administration came in, and they were really quick to stop the Canadian pipeline to come in the United States. He did it within an hour of him taking office, but yet he's been soft on this Nord Stream 2 and allowed it to go forward and has convinced his party to do that. I've never understood it. I still don't understand it, but we have a standoff in that regard. We had a vote on that, as you know, last week, and we pulled some Democrats with us. And there are some that get that we really, really ought to shut down that or keep from starting the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
Senator Jim Risch, Ranking Republican on the Foreign Relations Committee. Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Good to see you, Larry. Good to be with you. Next up on Kudlow.